Yes, sir, man. Oh, look who show up in our uniform, man.
Listen, if I'm on with my teacher, I got to look right.
Man, Paul Russell, thank you for doing that. And I want to start sorry about your friend. I saw you mentioned something.
You met him a couple of times.
I know, he came by to the school. Sorry,
Yeah.
man. Life is crazy. Russell, first of all, I just want to, I don't think you need any kind of introduction for who you are.
I mean, I'll take one.
What you do. But I'll tell you just how I met you. I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
I've been surfing channels on TV show. I think it was Showtime back a few years ago.
Right.
And has one of your specials on TV. And I think for me, the way I connect with you, and I felt it was incredibly funny. And after that, I've started following you and see all your shows, was how diverse your comedy was. Like, doesn't matter where you live, you're going to understand and laugh a lot from the jokes. Then I got a call from my brother, which is very distract. One of them say, hey, I met this guy. He was training jiu-jitsu and blah, blah, blah. I said, great. The next thing happened was I got an Instagram direct message from you. And
so let me tell you how that happened.
Sure. I was like, okay. Is that russellpeters, the guy I saw on TV a couple years ago? No, it can't be. But go ahead, sir.
So I was training in the 90s very lightly with Carlos Newton and Omar Salvosa in Canada. They were teaching me mostly stand-up Japanese jiu-jitsu, you know? Same locks, flip a guy over, use walls, you know, that kind of stuff. It's the same moves that you do on the ground, you just do them standing up. Same thing with a guillotine, you can lock it in standing up, and armbar standing up, and everything is all standing up. Anyway, I was learning all that, and through a comedian friend of mine named Ron Jossel. And then I heard a guy in like the year 2000, I heard a guy on the street, and I felt like an animal, and I was very disappointed with myself. So I stopped training altogether. Cut to 16 years later, and I had been friends with Hegan for maybe about a year or so. And I said, he said, why don't you come train jiu-jitsu with me? Machado. And I was like, I would love to. But his school was in Beverly Hills, and I lived in Malibu at the time. And I was like, it's just too far for me to get to. So Hegan called you and asked if he could use your school to teach me. And yeah, and then it was your brother, so you said okay. And then I started training there with him. But, you know, training with Hegan is very different than training with you. It's a much shorter training session, and it's a far more infrequent training session.
I think I can tell that you can crush me more than you crush him. It's one of the better things.
I mean, I learned pressure from both of you guys. So, but it was too infrequent, and I wanted to train more often, and I couldn't pressure Hegan into coming out there so much because he wasn't charging me. And I was like, I get that, you know, if you're not giving the person money. I mean, I was offering him money, but he wouldn't take it. And then I said, is it okay with you if I call your brother and train with him? And he said, my pleasure. So I DM'd you. And then here we are 4 years later. I am now a blue belt with 3 stripes under the master, Jean Jacques Machado.
And I think jiu-jitsu brought to me so many surprises. And I would never thought a few years later we'll be meeting you, that very famous comedian now training, and then I can call a friend, a family member.
Well, you are the godfather of my son.
I know, and I feel so honored to be the godfather of your son, and I promise you that I will look up for him for the rest of my life, sir.
I know. You've got 6 fingers, 7 fingers waiting for him.
Look, man, if his issue is safety, I'm on. He's safe for the rest of his life, for sure.
I'm not worried about that.
Russell, a lot of people that in many other areas know who you are.
Right.
In jiu-jitsu now, a lot of people also became fans of yours. My question to you is, where russellpeters come from? Who's russellpeters? After jiu-jitsu.
I come from a boxing background first.
Look, I'll tell you
know.
something. No, I gotta say that, man. I was teaching Russell, showing a technique, And as soon as I touched him, show something, man, he punched me so hard in the chest. And he apologized. He said, man, that was my reflex. I just have my boxing skills coming back to me. And I was like, after that day, I have to be very worried, very concerned when I grab you.
It was an accident, first of all. It was like maybe our third session. And Jean Jacques went, okay. And he went to put his arm out. And then as soon as he threw his arm out, I flung it away. And I went whack right in his chest.
I go, man, we're grappling. We're not.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Guys, that was for real. And it wasn't funny at all because he really hit me in the chest.
I know. I was like, ah. I thought for sure he was going to kill me. But he waited many years before he decided to kill me.
Oh, man. But, I have to say that when we meet someone that is already so well-known like you.
Or you.
A celebrity. Yes.
Or you.
And sometimes we're not sure what they're going to do or they're going to follow through. They just want to say they train jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And I have to say to everyone out there that when Russell is not on the road doing what he loves to do too, and for me, you have an amazing mission in life because you bring happiness to people in the world that we live in. And it's something that you have to be very good at it. And you know that you have the mission because a lot of things you go back to in life because it's incredible when you see people laughing as often as they should. But when they see you on your show and you have the mission, you know that. Having the commitment that you have, because every time you hear them, you very rarely can Russell go, hey, I cannot make it. It's more likely me sometimes like, man, I can't do it this time. But I have to say that your commitment of your training, your perseverance, and and sometimes we introduce, after a while we train privates, and once in a while now we bring you to the group class. And
now I do privates in the group class, and then I roll with somebody else by the end of it or the middle of it or whatever.
And it will throw you to the lions, and it's incredible because you're right on. You're the real deal. You learn to survive.
Listen, if you're literally learning from the best, you're going to become the best you can possibly be.
And that's for sure. That's what.
And since Renzo wasn't available, I took you. And
see, guys, look, I have more fun teaching him than him learning jiu-jitsu.
Part of my game is always distracting the guy. And especially I try to do with Jean Jacques all the time when we're rolling. I'll say just the one little thing that throws him off to make him laugh, and then I go for my move.
I will tell you guys, man, he reminds me every day that I have 6 fingers only. Every class, he has to remind me that.
Oh yeah.
I have to laugh. It's like, man.
Because he told me.
I know that by now, but he gotta remind me.
It's funny the look on some of the students' faces when I say it. They're like,
the guy's like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I grew up, and now my brothers just pick on me, and after a while, it's like, you know what? I don't care.
It's a sign of love.
It is funny to me. It's funny today.
It's a sign. It's done out of respect and love and fear of that one little hand. I told Jean Jacques one day, I said, you weren't built for jiu-jitsu, you were built for hitchhiking with that hand.
Yeah, you guys can see what I have to deal with every class, right? I lose my focus, my concentrations quite often with Russell.
Do you remember the day that you made me roll with Rico Rodriguez?
Yeah, I don't know. You want to talk about it?
Hell yeah, I'll talk about it. Hey, listen, there's nothing I'm ashamed of. Listen, if it happened, it happened. So here's what happened. This must have been about 3.5 years ago. I was still a white belt. And actually, 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. And I rolled with Jean Jacques for the hour. And Rico Rodriguez was in the class that day. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion. He's a black belt. He's a big beast of a human being.
He's a big dude, man. He's a
big dude. And when Jean Jacques had introduced him at the beginning of the class, he started making jokes about him out loud. He was like, we have a special guest in the class today. Former UFC heavyweight champion, former
Abu
Strike
Dhabi
Force
champ. He championed in
Abu Dhabi
He won
champion.
everything.
He said former Pride champion, and I went former Gay Pride champion. So then, just trying to be funny. I roll with Jean Jacques for the hour, and then he goes, "Hey, you want to roll with someone else?" I go, "Yeah, sure." He goes, "Rico." I go, "No." So, as a white belt, you don't really know much. So, and Rico's a big dude. I'm 5'11". He's about 6'3.5", 6'4".
Yeah, he's about 250, something like that.
He's about 250. At the time, I was still very heavy. I was probably about 230 still, probably, I would say. Maybe 228. I was still heavy, though. And so Rico goes, "Yeah, sure." And then I'm like, "Oh, shit." So we shake our little hands. And the only thing I knew to do was pull guard. So I pulled guard on him. And I held him, and that's all I was doing. And then Rico just postured up and then started pushing down so that my neck was against the wall, against the floor. I was like this. Let me get to a wall here. I was like this on the floor. All my weight was like this, and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh boy, I could feel all the air getting pushed around in me. Not so much out of me, but pushed around in me. And all the air decided to come out of my body, but not this way. It came out through my ass. And I went, and I was like, uh-oh. And I go, "Rico, I think I just shit myself." And Rico's like, "Ha, ha, ha." And I go, no, seriously, Rico, I think I just shit myself. And he's like, "Ha, ha." And then a couple of seconds later, he goes, "Oh my God, what does that smell?" I go, "Rico, you literally just beat the shit out of me." So I ran to the bathroom. I threw out my underwear. I washed my ass. Changed my clothes.
It was a learning experience.
And you know what the day was? It was Joe Rogan's 50th birthday.
Man, look at you, just shot, right?
Yeah.
There was a famous shot.
We've had some good moments in there. And then what about the time last year where Rogan came to train with us? It was you, me, and Joe.
Oh, man.
So you roll with Joe. I roll with you. You roll with Joe again. Then you roll with me again. And then Joe's like, "Hey, Russell, you want to roll?" And I'm like, okay. See, like, I know how to roll with Jean Jacques because he knows what I know. He knows my limitations, and he knows how to let you do things without making you believe you can do it. He's a great teacher in that way. So Rogan goes, "All right." I go, "All right, I guess." I look at Jean Jacques. He goes, "Yeah, roll." I'm like, "Fuck, I was hoping you'd say no." And so we start rolling, and I'm defending for most of that few minutes that we roll. I'm defending. And then Joe goes to put me in a lockdown, but he gets me in a calf slicer on the way to the lockdown, and I'm like, and I tap. And Joe's like, "Hey, what'd you tap? That's not even the move." I go, I don't want to know what the move is. If that already hurt. He goes, "Yeah, but you're not supposed to tap on a calf slicer." I go, "It fucking hurts. I'm going to tap."
Man, it does hurt.
You do it to me all the time.
I play around and I tried to do it again and you
do it every time we roll just to get me to do something. Go,
to remind you, "Hey, watch your leg over here."
And I got skinny little legs down there.
Man, and you guys understand what is so fun to train with Russell, because a lot of things happen in one class. Lots of things.
Yeah, we got a lot of dumb things happening.
It's a good adventure.
Yeah. I remember about a couple of months ago we were rolling, and I don't know why, but I lifted up your rash guard and gave you a Zerbert on your stomach.
I was like, what this guy doing?
He had me, and I had it like I don't know what. I think I was sort of like almost in a cross in a side control, and I lifted it up.
What is that? Man, Russell, if you have to say to someone, I would say that, what would be, okay, if it is a secret or a technique that you need to be a comedian.
If there's a secret technique to being a comedian,
it is a secret.
It's not a secret.
Or it is a technique or something that you use.
Let me give it to you in terms we'll both understand. The secret to jiu-jitsu is the same as the secret to comedy. You have to be honest. You cannot lie in either game. If you lie in jiu-jitsu, whether it be about your skill level or your belt ranking or your what's the word I'm looking for? Well, whatever, your ranking, your belt level, your experience, it'll show. You cannot lie about these things. Like anybody could walk into a jiu-jitsu gym, say they trained for a year somewhere, and they know the basics, or maybe even they're a little advanced for a 1-year guy, but that doesn't mean they're going to be like, they can come in and then tell you they're a brown belt.
But you
roll with them, they're not. And it's the same thing with a comic.
Like in jiu-jitsu have techniques.
Yeah.
And I think that as a comedian, you're so good, man, that you can get things so quickly. I don't know, it becomes natural to you. But it's
the same with comedy and jiu-jitsu are very similar in that regard. You'll know if the guy's being honest with you. If somebody's coming in, they're really strong, or they're trying to muscle you, you know how to switch your game up to be like, all right, I'm not as strong as them, so I'm going to have to use technique. And that's something you always drive into my head. Technique.
And let me ask you this. When did you realize you were actually a comedian? When was that?
I mean, I don't think I ever really realized it. I knew I had an ability to make people laugh. Even when I was boxing, I would do it. Like if I was sparring with a guy who was really slick, and those guys, you would, wow, and he's not there. He's like, you think you're going to hit him, but we see how hairy my knuckles are, damn. And so you think you're going to hit him, but he's not at the end of your punch. He's like right there, and you're like, how come I can't get to him? Those guys would frustrate the shit out of me. So what I would do is I would step in, and I would clinch, and then I would say something to him like, you smell fantastic. And then they'd be like, hey, and then I go, pop, and I get him with one. But it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. You make me roll with these black belts with 3, 4, 5 stripes on them. Some guys are cops, and they're giant dudes, and some guys are just straight up killers, and you make me roll with all these guys, and every time I'm rolling with them, I could feel them turning their black belt on. I do something to disengage their brain from doing that. Whatever it takes to get you off your game with words, I will do it.
Because, man, I know one thing I noticed, like few comedians, that with my simple opinion on that is you have that ability in a way to pick people in your crowd that is incredible, that I don't know, and you make every answer the person has turns to be funny because how you ask the questions to them. But you have that ability that, I don't know, very few people can actually do that. When did you realize that? Because, man, I'm watching the shows, and I understand a lot of people go there, and for 1 hour they say things, but very few try to engage with the crowd the way you do.
I mean, that's just for me, because I get bored easy. Like, I get bored very easy. And you know that. Like, if you start making me do drills, I'm like, You're like, I want you to do 10 this way and 10 that way. I'm like, can we just roll? I don't want to do these 10 this and 10 that. Can we just roll? Like, I get bored very easy. I got a short attention span. So it's the same thing when I'm on stage. I want to do my act, but then I get distracted by something shiny. I'm like, ooh. And then I'll deal with that instead, and then I'll try and remember where I was and sew it back together,
Man, that is something. And what would you tell someone that's watching you right now, say, I want to start doing jiu-jitsu? Because I see Russell does jiu-jitsu, and I'm a big fan of Russell. I tell
everybody, I feel like the whole world should know jiu-jitsu. It really is. It's just something that really helps you in so many different ways. People like, I need something to help me work out. I go, listen, when people tell me go and lift weights, I can't do it just because I can't. First of all, it's hard enough for me to motivate myself to do something helpful for myself. But then if it comes down to just sitting there and lifting weights and running and doing all these things, I can't get myself to do that. But when I go train jiu-jitsu, I need something that's my life is on the line. If I don't focus when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, my life is on the line. My arms are on the line. My neck is on the line. Every part of me is on the line. And I'm not ready to just give it up because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, my goodness, man. It's Russell.
Sir.
I know you for quite some time. How would you describe russellpeters to people out there?
I mean, I don't know how I would describe me. I'm a very confused, middle-aged old man now. It's a very confusing time for me. I'm going to be 50 years old this year, but I still mentally feel like I'm 25, but I physically feel like I'm 50. And you've gotten my stamina and my muscle mass and my body in a completely different shape than it was when I first met you. I mean, you remember the first time you trained with me, you were like, I don't think this guy's going to make it.
Yeah, I was concerned, but I think it's, I just felt too that because you never actually cancel the classes, you're looking for so much. Hey, we train tomorrow, can we train tomorrow? And can we train after tomorrow? Then I realized that, I think we're going to go very far because you were there because you really want to train jiu-jitsu for yourself.
I love it.
You don't want to tell people you train jiu-jitsu. No, you want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I don't want to do it just because I want to say I did it. I mean, you could do that with anything. Jiu-jitsu, again, is one of those things you can't lie about. You can say, I saw you train. People, it's like when I say I trained in the 90s, I didn't really train. I learned some moves, is what I did. Now I feel like I'm not going to say I know jiu-jitsu, but I'm very comfortable on the mats. And, I feel like I can defend myself.
And for some of the people that I have a lot of people from Brazil now listen into this. And I'm going to tell what you told me on the first class we did. As soon as you finish our class, Russell looked back to me, and I just met him. And he goes to me and say, all right, vai cagar. Then he walked away. And I was like, what? Then that kept in my mind, because it's been 4 or 5 years ago. First time I met you, tell me, okay, vai cagar.
That's not why. I didn't know anything useful in Portuguese. I just had to tell you to go shit.
I want to know why you say some of the Portuguese words, which sounds incredible to me.
I'm trying to learn, but I find it a very difficult language to learn.
And Russell, I mean, it's past 4, going to 5 years, about 5 years. What would be the biggest difference you felt that practicing, training jiu-jitsu did for you overall in your life?
I mean, it really gave me, outside of comedy and DJing, it gave me something that I really, really zone in on and I really, really love. And it's not something, it's like, I love it for a reason of one thing. I kind of just really, it kind of, like, say you have a circle that's doing this, jiu-jitsu brings it together for me. It just makes it a full circle for me. And without jiu-jitsu, I'm kind of like missing something.
I know. We're all right now struggling.
I'm dying. I text Jean Jacques all the time. Sir, please, can we? And he's like, I cannot.
I tell one thing that people say, oh, you've been training for 5 years and you miss so much. And people don't realize I've been going to train jiu-jitsu for the past 47 years. Suddenly,
47 years of jiu-jitsu.
Suddenly, I'm 52. Then I'm 47 years, every single day training. Suddenly, can train.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the best that I can, and I speak to a lot of people through meetings today. Now the question, and I'm pretty much sure I know the answers of, I know maybe not now is the time, but with all this scenario that we see out there, are you already preparing some things to do in the next shows?
I don't know when the next shows are, so every time I think I've got an idea, it's like it's probably not going to be any good in about another month or two. We literally have to see what happens. For me, it's about, how I feel when I'm on stage. So if I feel like that's in my brain, but I think once we get out and start working again, nobody wants to hear about this shit anymore.
We want to get this over, right?
I'm going to get it over with and forget about it.
Question here, Mr. Russell. How do you see Russell Peters 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I should be hopefully a brown belt.
No,
maybe purple belt with many stripes.
I don't know. If you keep training the way you do, because we say, a lot of people used to ask, not anymore, sir, how long it takes for me to get black belt? And I still saying the same thing, man. 10 years, I think you want to get right, something around that. It all depends on how often you train, how much you want to train, how much time you put it into. Yes, it can be a little earlier than that, but that's average. And I think those people that got the belt at about that time, they have such a longevity in jiu-jitsu, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you got guys like Yoshi in the gym who's, 73, 74 years old?
Yeah,
and he trains every day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to roll with Yoshi.
Yeah, I met him, I think it was a purple belt. It's been,
right?
I don't know, something like 17 years ago. He's been
there.
Wow. 3 days a week training. It's awesome.
That's what else I like, is that there's no age limit to it. It's not like boxing where you have to stop doing it at a certain time because your bones will hurt, your hands will hurt, your face, every part of you is going to hurt.
I think you should realize that the goals on your training will change according to how old we get, I think we have trains that will be survival 100%. You have trains that will have options to knock at someone's door a little bit, but it changes as the time goes by, the intention of your training. And for sure, you can train until 100 years if you want to, because it's what we call gentle art.
It is.
Sometimes it's optional to be or not to be gentle with people.
Yeah, what's funny is I've seen you roll with so many different. I bring guys in all the time. Jean Jacques very gracious. He lets me bring in my friends when they're in town. I'm like, hey, you want to come train? And I'm like, so if I bring friends, yeah, bring a friend. And then I always let them join the class. And then I go, JJ, can you roll with my friend? And then they always just leave going, holy shit, I feel like I don't know jiu-jitsu at all.
No,
that's my favorite part, is watching him just do it to people. I brought Chuck Liddell into the gym before, and Chuck's a beast. He's a killer. He's a former light heavyweight champion of the world. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and watching Jean Jacques roll with Chuck, I was just like, oh shit. It doesn't matter what you know outside of this. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, it's you are the boss there.
No, I think it's incredible. After so many years training, like you say, when you walk into the stage and start telling the stories and make people laugh, jiu-jitsu to me is the same thing. I don't have a game plan. Everything goes with the flow, because a lot of the people, if I already knew what they like to do, great. But a lot of people, like you bring your friends, I don't know how much intensity they will put into the training, but I go with, and
and that's something you taught me as well. You taught me. I brought in my friend Kevin one day, and he's a little guy, and he's a black belt, and he's very fast and very slick, and he went fast, and then I tried to go fast too, and then I got tapped out. And after you were like, you don't go fast if they go fast. He's a young, fast kid. You're a slow, fat adult. You go slow, fat adult speed.
And did it work better for you, right?
Well, yeah, and then I figured that out. But then, there's times where I get angry when I'm getting, remember that one time I got angry because I was exhausted?
But look, it's the process of self-control, and and it's fun. I know we miss so much, and I'm sure pretty soon, as soon as they say you can open this school, we're gonna go there and train. I have no problems at all, man. I feel incredible.
I never got
healthy.
sick. I knock on wood.
Now I have a question for you, Russell. Too is, give us here, they're watching you right now, a little teaser of things that make all of us laugh. Just give us something
That makes people laugh?
Yes, man.
I don't know what makes people laugh.
you are expert on that, man. Give us something here, man.
For me, it's just making fun of you in class makes me laugh. I don't know.
You see, this guy picks on me. Like, thank God I know jiu-jitsu, and I'm kind of controlling.
You know what it is? It's because sometimes I think Jean Jacques forgets that he's speaking English, and he goes into that Brazilian stuff of talking, and he'll call Joe Rogan Joe Hogan, and sometimes he'll tell me, tomorrow we're going to hole. And I'm like, hole? Whoa, we're not doing anything to my hole, kid.
I have the excuse of my accent.
Yeah.
You know, I always get away with that's my accent, man.
Why is the R and H in Brazil but not in Portugal?
Look, I was actually in Canada with one of my students and instructor at All Canadian Martial Arts. His name is Vito Brancaccio.
I know Vito, yeah.
You know, you met him.
Yeah.
And we went to an award show. I got an award show in Canada, which was very nice. I was with him. He come up to me and said, oh, Jean Jacques, I have this friend here from Portugal. It's good you can sit next to him and speak Portuguese. And I think for me it was the first time, actually, believe it or not, I'm speaking Portuguese to someone from Portugal.
Right.
Man, I have no idea what the guy was saying.
You know what it's like?
I had no idea what I was saying. And I look at him and say, look, I think it would be better if we speak English, because I do not understand your Portuguese, and I can tell you not understand mine.
You know what it's like? It's like when an American meets somebody from England and they talk, and I watch the American go, I don't know what the hell that boy's talking about. And the English guy's like, he speaks bloody awful English, doesn't he? You know.
And you know, in Brazil we learn the English. In Brazil we learn is the British one.
Yeah, well, in Canada it's the same.
It's the British one. And but man, I thought I could speak Portuguese from Portugal, and I realized it's a lot more challenging than I thought, because I could not understand, because also has a lot of words, makes very different. It means nothing in Brazil.
Yeah, I think porra doesn't, I mean, they share porra with you.
I know, man, like...
and I think they share porrada with you, but they don't share foraci.
This, I think somehow a lot of Brazilians add porra when they speak English.
Yeah.
They say something of porra, which there has many different meanings, that word.
Right.
But it's something that, it feels wrong. And I don't want to mention about the mouthpiece you brought one day in class.
Well, I'll mention it since
I don't want to say that.
I'll mention it for you. May I tell the story?
Yeah, if it's kids out there, don't watch or listen to what he's going to say now.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. Somebody hit me up on Instagram and said, hey, I see you're training BJJ. I would love to make you your own mouthpiece. And I'm like, sure, that'd be great. And he goes, what do you want? And I go, I know exactly what I want written on the front. So I tell him, and I get the mouthpiece made, and he sends it to me. And I'm so excited. I show up at the academy with my bag, and I put on my gi, and I'm ready. And I go, sir, I got a mouthpiece. He goes, good, you're going to need it. And then I put it in, and then I smile, and it says, porra. And he starts laughing, and I go, funny, right? He goes, why do you want cum in your mouth? And I go, what? He goes, that means cum. I go, no, you say it all the time. He goes, we don't mean it like that, but that's what it means. And I'm like, oh, great. So I've never worn the mouthpiece again, actually, because I feel like I don't want that in my mouth. I'm willing to lose teeth for this sport.
russellpeters.
Russell Porras. Marshmallows in the chat.
Man, it's incredible what the journey of jiu-jitsu make, me meeting people in life. You know, it's incredible in such a short time. Literally, I can say that you became part of my family, and more than ever now, became part of your family. And
hey, you're stuck with us now.
You know, and that's beautiful. And I want to say thank you to you to have spend that time with us and bring some laughs into our lives in those moments that we need the most. I wanted you to know that you're literally part of my family, and jiu-jitsu did change you, and you do change a lot of people on your surround. It's incredible the energy that you have, that you pass on to us since day one. And for you guys to know, Russell is funny, incredible, very respectful guy, and I love him, man. This guy is family member to me, my brother, for sure. And I know that jiu-jitsu is so incredible in a way that give me a chance to meet people like you, man. It's an addition to all my life.
Thank you. And it's funny for me because I get to brag that I train directly with you. I don't train under you. I train directly with you. Like for me to tell people, they go, where do you train? I go, I train with Jean Jacques Machado. They go, oh, you're at his school. I go, no, I train with Jean Jacques Machado.
I know a lot of people think I'm already retired. I don't teach no more.
I don't know why they would think you're retired.
Man, I roll every day for my students. That's what I like to be. That's what I love to do. I make new friends all the time. And I have a chance to chat with Russell quite often, And it's an incredible person. And now you guys know that he does jiu-jitsu for real. He's the real deal. I'm sure some of you guys saw him. I did. Saving some people in a jewelry store. He's choking the guy, armbar.
A little armbar action.
Which I was very upset at him because he put his life in risk.
Not really. I mean, I was trying. Listen, I tried to get him in a choke from behind, but the guy pulled him down. I was like, if I just got him in a choke, it would have been over quickly. I would have just held him till he fell asleep, sat him down, and that's it. But everybody wanted to jump in. Then I had to go and fight and struggle to get his arm, and then I got his arm, kicked out his leg, so he fell. And I did feel good about it. I got to be honest with you.
And I think I always mention the students, try not to, but I think it was his instinct to protect his friends, and thankfully everything turned out all right. And he was on TMZ, and that was funny, but not that funny to me, but thank God everything turned out fine.
But they did post a nice picture of me in my Jean Jacques Machado gi.
Man, we got one great advertising. I know, and it's incredible, Russell. Pô, thank you, my brother.
Thank you, meu irmão, obrigado.
Pretty soon, porrada no Russell. A lot of estrangulamento, choke.
I hope to be porrading soon.
Fazer o Russell passar sufoco, muito estrangulamento. Vai ser engraçado.
I almost sneezed.
Now everyone in Brazil know. I'm going to say something. Guys, Russell Peters é um dos caras comediantes mais famosos do mundo. E o engraçado é que por ele ser famoso, ele não trata ninguém diferente. Ele é 100% um cara muito gente boa, engraçado pra caramba, e, quer aprender jiu-jitsu mesmo, toma porrada toda a aula, volta na próxima aula, e, um irmãozão mesmo. Então, dá uma olhada nesse cara, o que ele faz aí ao redor do mundo de piada. É sensacional. Boa noite a todos no Brasil. Super Russell, thank you, my brother.
Thank you. I was doing sign language for you.
Yeah, we talk, and I said good things about you, okay, in Portuguese.
I don't know. I didn't hear Maluco, so I think that's good.
No. You're not Maluco.
I am a little bit.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, we're definitely going to see each other soon, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my brother. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir. Hopefully. Bye, kids.
Take care, Russell.